Okay, so I don't like believe in ghosts. I think it's all like mental illness and sadness. Sorry if that ruins everything. I don't
No.
like my whole thing is like anytime all the studies show that if you see something, see all that stuff, it's usually because after someone died or you're distraught or you're not
They have to
sleeping
be dead to
well.
be a ghost, Liz.
I,
It
I
is a huge factor.
but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I never really think when they say like people come back, like, you know what I mean? Like they always say they have unresolved issues. It's like, who doesn't have unresolved issues? Like who hasn't,
Yeah.
dude, I have a to-do list that I've had since I was 16. It never gets done. Like I'm gonna have shit. Like I'm just like, and there's people that had like worse lives. Like everybody has unfinished shit when they die. Nobody's like, I did it all. I did everything I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Check off. So my thing is that it usually has to do with somebody that's like distraught or they lost somebody or like going through shit. And I have a lot of mental illness in my family, like all of it. And I was very depressed when I was in high school. I was depressed like just every 2 years, but very depressed in high school. And I had we moved when I was a teenager and I shared a room with, I'm one of five. So I shared a room with my little sister, my little brother until I was like 14 years old. And then I finally had my own room and I was like in the attic, like they finished the attic and I had this, my whole room to myself. But then I realized I've never really been by myself and I was actually scared to sleep alone. And I had these big bay windows that overlooked this yard. We had never had a yard before. We always lived across from like a highway. So everything about the suburbs was different. Everything about sleeping alone was different. And I remember I got up one night, I had to pee, I had to go downstairs, I peed, I came back up and I look outside the window and I just see what feels like someone standing in the middle of the yard. And I don't know if it was another person. I don't know if I just like, and I never liked scary movies. I don't like being alone. I'm somebody that drives by themselves at 3 a.m. and I will go to the biggest Sheets or the biggest Wawa and just be like, you know what I mean? I just want everybody to be well lit. If they have to see I'm alone, I need everybody, like pictures of everybody in my mind. But it's dark and I just see somebody standing there. And to this day, I don't know if I like made it up because I was just scared or if it was like my dad having an existential crisis. There's a lot of suicide in my family. Maybe he had a moment. I don't know. Like, but that's what I remember is being like 14 or 15 years old and just seeing somebody standing and like, of course, and then it just like disappeared, like that kind of thing. So I don't know if
It
I made it up.
it like faded away, or you
It
like
didn't
looked away
fade.
and looked back.
It didn't fade away. So I don't know if I saw something real, like it was a real person, or and like keep in mind I saw it, and then my whole like your whole body gets hot. You get really like heart palpitations. You try to be like, is that what I'm seeing? And then it wasn't there. So I either made it up, or it was. I couldn't have been my brothers because my brothers. I'm 10 and 11 years older than my brothers. They're like babies. This was like a grown person.
So it did appear to be a human, like it was opaque.
Yes, but
Did it?
it didn't look like my dad.
So it
How
could
long
you
do you see it
tell?
for?
Huh?
How long do you see it for? Like how?
Very quickly. So that's where like, did I
Like an
imagine?
instant?
I wouldn't say an instant. I would just say like I saw something, I got really
Yeah.
scared. And like I said, there's these big bay windows. So I kind of like crouched down to my bed and then
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and it wasn't there anymore.
Because I had a thought the other day about like what like sometimes a thing you see out of the corner of your eye could be like, oh, what was that? You know? Because I had a fucking like one of those eye floaty things past my vision. And I was like, what? Like, how many ghost stories are
It's
just
just
because
something on
somebody
your
had fucking
contact.
an eye floater? Yeah. You know, like, oh, I saw a thing. It was movement over there. I
Yeah.
didn't quite get a good look at it, but, you know,
It's
it
just
wasn't
like
that though.
bacteria. No, I don't think it was
Yeah.
an eye floaty. I think it was just
It's
a
a fucking
girl that was
tumor.
scared. Yeah, it's a tumor.
It's
I
an
saw
eye
a
tumor.
tumor.
You're going to be a ghost for what it's worth.
I think I just this girl that was scared, like you know what I mean, and I didn't like being alone,
Mm-hmm.
and I was starting to do drugs, and like I don't think I was on drugs when I saw it, but I was definitely starting to do like drugs by myself.
So that's what you reconcile it as, was that it was either like your mind playing tricks on you or the influence of something else.
Yes,
Okay. And that's your only weird experience ever.
I've seen like kind of like how Maddie was saying, like I've seen like driving, I get really tired, so I would especially early in my career, I'd drive like 7 hours, do a gig, and then turn back around and drive 7 hours back, and
Mm.
I've fallen asleep at the wheel a
That's
lot.
fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So this actually really did happen. I was driving back from DC to New York and a guy jumped over the fence on a inner like a highway interval, jumped over the fence, ran in front of my car, and I almost hit him. And it's the best Red Bull I've ever had in my life. I was like horrified truly, just like that, Mike. I was just like, ah! So I always see that guy. Like whenever I get scared that I'm falling asleep at the wheel, I think of that guy. Like I could have hit a guy, but it's like, it's my imagination because I'm scared I'm going to hit a guy while falling asleep at the wheel.
Meaning you intentionally think of it, or you think that you're actually seeing it?
I don't think I'm actually seeing it as much as like I start to fall asleep at the wheel and I think I see somebody, and it's like almost like this weird like nightmare.
It's like that mind's eye thing where it's like, oh, he could be out there at
Yeah,
any
yeah.
point. Yeah.
Like my heart feels like I had unfinished business. Like my goal, like my purpose was to hit that guy. And
That guy killed 4 kids that night.
yeah, you could have killed him.
you don't
Could have
know.
been a hero.
All right, Harrington, what's your scary thing story?
So I'm the exact opposite. I 1000% believe in ghosts, spirits, banshees, for sure aliens. Like at this point, if you don't believe in aliens,
I
like,
believe in aliens.
okay,
Aliens are real.
is aliens not part of this segment?
It can be.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any direct alien stuff, but I do like my senior year of high school I spent at a boarding school for, you know, kids who needed emotional growth, aka rehab for teenagers. So it was at this like ski resort, like it was a cross-country ski resort in the Berkshires, old as hell. And they had, you know, on it was like the girls wing, which was like a lot of newer stuff. Then there was the guys wing, which was like the used to be like a bed and breakfast / like, you know, hotel ski resort kind of thing, you know, like just the like old, like built in the early 1900s, late 1800s, like ski lodge thing. And the very end of the hall was the honeymoon suite. Right. And the old like legend about this place that, like, you know, you would see it like late at night would be the bride and groom, right? One day, like the groom was carrying his bride up to the second floor of the bridal suite, fell down, tumbled, broke his neck. He died, she died, and that was that. So
That's how I'm gonna go.
Yeah, carrying
That's
Aaron
gonna be-
through the
That's
threshold.
gonna be it. Like, oh, you're so heavy, and I'll fucking tip over and fucking crack both of our necks.
Do you want to do something just really weird, really quickly? Another the thing incidents. Lindsay, my friend Lindsay, she tagged me in something on Facebook the other day, and it's a bar in New Jersey, which the name escapes me at the moment, but it's like, and I guess they're doing this for tourism, but it's like supposedly known as a haunted location. And the story about how it's haunted is that there was a wedding there. And that the like, it's something like that. I don't remember the specifics, but it was like something that the husband died like shortly before, and then like the wife died shortly after. It's the same thing where it's the husband and the wife that haunt this location, which is exactly what you're saying. It's just crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so that
that's
was
so sad because they couldn't haunt each other in real life. Like it's really, you know what I mean? Like they could have really tortured each other, and now.
But now they can do it for all eternity.
Yeah, how fun.
If one of them lives, they could have come back and gotten the other one. Instead, they need to just go together to ruin happy hour.
He's like, I thought it was death do us part. Go away.
They missed out on all those years of just wishing the other one would go.
So the legend, right, of this place is that you could see the man would come out in, you know, full tuxedo, top hat, tails, cane, the whole nine. He would come out of, you know, I think it was 16, walk, you know, the couple paces into 15, and then as he was going through the door, sometimes if you saw him, he would like tip his top hat as he was going through the door. So I was a member of 15. And I just remember, like, you know, I was always like pretty nervous. You know, just the night security would like always hit us with these stories and like mess with us and everything. So it was always like kind of in the back of my head. But I remember, you know, one night it was there was 4 of us, like all in like 4 like single beds. You know, and they were like in like on a dice, you know what I mean, like the 4 on a die, like that's where each bed was, right, like about that much space in between. There was like a big chest of drawers, like, you know, maybe 2 to 3 feet to the right of, the bed that would be on the top left part of the dice. And I just remember like we were all up late, like just bullshitting about something, like swapping stories, whatever 17-year-old kids talk about. And I remember the kid who slept in that bed, Aaron, was fast asleep. You could hear him snoring, and like I could see his body was like all the way, against the wall. So like very far away from the chest of drawers. And all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, mid conversation, you just hear slam, 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 slam. And the doors just start opening and closing frantically. They just wouldn't stop. And maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times that happened. We both like just looked up like, what in the actual fuck was that? And we kept trying to get Aaron to admit like, yeah, it was me. I was awake. Like I was pulling a prank. I was doing something. And like, no, nothing. Like he 100%, like he had the sound of a guy who had just woken up from a sound sleep to be like, why the fuck you guys messing with my dresser? You know what I mean? Like, why do you want to, why did you do this to wake me up? And to this day, no one in that room will admit to doing it. So the only thing I can think is, the groom took a trip to the room that night.
Or the custodial staff.
No. We would have heard the door open.
Yeah, Liz is like super skeptical. She's like, did somebody die? Were people sad about it? This story's bullshit.
Were a bunch of addict boys sad about something?